That's the simple acts of kindness that Tabitha did when she was full of strength and she had the opportunity to serve. Those acts of kindness turned to intercession, and those acts began interceding for her when she could not intercede for herself. Those deeds of kindness began waging war for her when she could not wage war for herself. Those are the things that proceeded ahead of her when she had no strength to do it herself. She invested in one way, but she reaped in another way. She just did acts of kindness, not knowing that she was actually securing her life. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And when the moment of truth came, when everything had given way, when death crawled and captured her, the good deeds began saying no. They began saying, this one cannot go. Her words, her kindness began demonstrating and saying, we cannot let this one go. And I began asking myself a serious question. And I began saying, God, if I was to go today, what are the good deeds that will rise up and begin defending my life? What are the acts of kindness that I have ever done? And you know, the acts of kindness that Tabitha did, she was doing them to people that cannot return a favor. She was investing in people that don't have the capacity to return. She was not saying, I am doing this, that after a few years you will do it back to me. No. She was giving to the poor. And the Bible says when you give to the poor, you lend to God. And at the appointed time, God cannot allow himself to be in debt with you. At the appointed time, he shall surely come and pay it. And we see, when Tabitha closes her eyes, action begins. People begin calling each other and began saying, have you heard? Have you heard that the woman of God has gone? Have you heard? Have you heard? They began picking up their things, their possessions, the things that Tabitha brought to them, and began taking them to the place of worship, began presenting them before the Lord. And they were not even praying. They were telling God, this is what Tabitha has been doing in our lives. These are her deeds. This is who she is. When you take her from us, this will cease. And I was afraid for my life. I began asking, do I have any good thing that when I am in trouble, that good thing will locate itself without introduction in the presence of the Lord, spoil every protocol, defile every limitation, and arrive in the presence of God and say, I have a case to present. They defied every protocol. They were not understanding any no. They were not understanding comfort. All they wanted was results. They wanted their Tabitha back. And I was asking myself, is there anybody that will say we want her back for us? Is there anything good you have done in the presence presence of the Lord that if you happen to die, if you happen to be in trouble, those good deeds will not care about protocol, and they will go before the Lord and tell God, stop, you have said in your word that you, oh God, you are God of the poor, and whoever gives to the poor lends to you. Is there a word like that speaking for you? Blessed be the name of the Lord. And I told God, you better help me to give. You better help me to give. I never knew that my good deeds are the intercessions that I need. I never knew that my good deeds are what is used in the secret places to resurrect things that die in my life. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And they could not hold their peace. And something that happens next is that Peter is not in that location. He's very far. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And they gather and realize, we know of a man that can turn this story around. We have heard of a man that can change this situation. Imagine, these are deeds that are conversing about your life, and they are saying, we are going to find help for her. Who will go and find help for you? There were messengers out of intercession